For our sister magazine, Caravan World, I've driven the INEOS Grenadier over 6,000 kilometers and most of the time towing. But we're doing something different today. We're looking at the dual cab, the pickup, the Quartermaster from INEOS. Now the tub on the back will fit a Euro pallet, but only has an 832 kilo payload, quite a bit shy of one of its main rivals, the Landcruiser. Now we've only got it for 24 hours, so let's get into some detail. Starting with the chassis, it's a fully boxed frame with sections up to 3.5 millimeters thick. It has an electrochemical coating process, internal cavity wax application, and an exterior powder coating, giving it a 12-year warranty, which is bloody impressive for a workhorse. Weight capacities are decent. The gross vehicle mass is 3,550 kilos, making it NB1 classified. Curb weight for the diesel is 2,718 kilos, and its max towing capacity is 3.5 tons, and its gross combined capacity is 7,000 kilos. So you can tow a 3.5 ton trailer while carrying 832 kilos in the tray, in the cab, with the diesel Quartermaster. Axles are by Recaro and have an 8.8-inch crown wheel, and there are Dana CV joints, and if you option on lockers, they are from Eaton via e-locker. Springs are by IBAC and brakes by Brembo, while ground clearance is impressive at 264 millimeters, and approach and departure angles are decent. The front approach angle is especially good. So which model to have? For day-to-day driving, it's a very close call between the petrol and the diesel. The petrol has a bit more up and go, but the diesel has a bit more low down torque. If you're towing though, go the diesel for the fuel efficiency. Just note it has a 17-litre AdBlue tank, which you might need to top up every 4 or 5 fills if you're towing a big load. Options wise, start with the TrialMaster. That gets you the rough pack, which includes the Eaton e-lockers front and rear, steel wheels, and the BFG KO3s, plus a raised intake and more. I would option on a rhubar as well and a set of sliders. You can also go for a Fieldmaster, which can add a bit more comfort if you're looking that way. The TrialMaster also comes with a second battery and a dedicated charger, plus external power points so you can plug in a solar blanket to keep your batteries charged, which I think is bloody fantastic for tourers. The other option I would seriously consider is the 5,500 kilo rated winch. And the reason why is it's so well integrated into the front of the Quartermaster. A lot of people questioned why I didn't slag off the left footrest in my previous reviews of the Grenadier. And it honestly is, I didn't find it a problem. My size 13 just sits there over long drives. I don't find it a problem at all. Now, there is a lot to talk about in the interior, but I block most of the view, so I'll get out of the way. I like the big infotainment screen, but I do miss having a speedo in front of the driver. Of course, it has CarPlay, Android Auto, but my favorite on-screen tech is the TPMS, which has tire temperatures as well as pressure and updates super quickly. It has actually saved me a tire once already. Everyone loves the overhead switch panel, which has 3 10-amp auxiliary circuits built in. They can be optioned to 25 amp, and if you choose the winch like I suggest you should, when that happens, they'll add in a 500 amp circuit and upgrade those other circuits. The TrialMaster does not come with leather as standard, but you can option it on. And if you do, you'll still get the same excellent Recaro seats, which are some of the most comfortable long distance driving seats I've been in. So, what powers the Quartermaster? As mentioned, you've got the choice between a petrol or a diesel. Now both are 3-litre inline 6-cylinders supplied by BMW. The petrol has more power, 210 kilowatt, but the diesel has more torque at 550 Newton meters. Now both engines are mated to a ZF 8-speed transmission, easily one of the best in the business. And behind that is a gear-driven Tremec 2-speed transfer case, which helps reduce drive to the wheels, giving you much more torque off-road. So, driving impressions. After my first drive of a Grenadier in 2022, I came away thinking it was the most capable out-of-the-box full drive I'd driven. Then I had about 6,000 Ks of towing, and my conclusion there was that it was surprisingly capable for what is a relatively small vehicle with quite an outward spaced wheelbase. Now, 2 days traveling with the longer wheelbase Quartermaster has shown me it's a very capable tourer. I saw over 100 kilometers an hour on dirt roads. Now, they were in private property, so don't go calling the cops on me. And what I felt is that it's exceptionally planted. Through some whoops, we did hit the bump stops in the front, but the chassis never felt like it was flexing, and the body, there were no creaks, no rattles. It's surprisingly comfortable at speed on both bitumen and dirt. For off-roading, the center diff can be locked by moving the transfer case lever over. After that, the next step that worked best for me off-road was off-road mode, which changes the traction control settings and ABS settings. If it gets really serious, low range is super low and removes yet more nannies. And if you really needed it, which we didn't, you can lock the optional lockers to make the Grenadier a climbing monster. So even with the 300mm chassis extension, the Quartermaster still handles the rough stuff as well as the Grenadier. But there is one caveat. It has extended the turning circle quite considerably, so you do need to keep a good watch out on tight turns. Now, we didn't measure fuel consumption on this trip, and to be fair, the mixed use of gravel roads and blacktop means we wouldn't have got a really fair and indicative number. But for towing, I can say we saw mid-20s when towing a 3,000 kilo trailer in a previous test. I reckon we'll see the same with the Quartermaster. And with a petrol and a smaller van, we saw high 20s, which is to be expected. Now, there is a Brown Davis extended fuel tank option, which apparently nearly 10% of Grenadier buyers are fitting. Right, so is it the real deal? In terms of payload, strictly speaking, no. 832 kilos, not as high as I'd like to have seen, but the numbers are real. You can tow 3.5 ton and you can still fully load this. The GCM is high enough. But what really stands out for me is just how all-round capable the Quartermaster is, just like a Grenadier. On-road at high speed, it feels planted, and off-road, seriously, there's not a lot that's going to beat this. In fact, I don't think there's anything that's going to beat these off-road in low range, fully locked with these BFGs. This thing is seriously capable.